Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Wednesday, August 2nd. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you are someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. Real quick, a couple clarifications. First one, this candlestick's right there will still be moving around. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do this when the markets are still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one here, ticker symbol YELL. Big mover today. Talked about this one yesterday. Had this nice little pattern here that had formed. So really quickly to kind of build a little context, had a bull pennant. Then you can see this morning got the breakout right there and never really looked back as I speak. It's continuing to push towards highs. Down here, you can see the volume continuing to, get stronger and stronger here. So moral of the story, you got to think a lot of people are still going to be watching this one here headed into Tuesday. So let's map out a couple levels here. First key level in terms of areas of support, right down there at $3.30. So change that to represent more so a support level. So if you're someone that likes to play pullbacks, then right there, $3.30, interesting level. Perhaps you want a little bit more conservative on the pullback, then right there is another potential area of support, which sits right there around $2.50. So pullback players, I definitely keep an eye on those couple levels. As far as areas of resistance, I mean, I guess the quickest way to look at that would just be where did the party officially stop? And that was right up there at the highs, at that point right there. So from a very straightforward level, right there at essentially the $5 mark, which does make sense, big round number like that. So that would be the key level to watch moving forward at the $5 mark. But overall, very, very volatile stock right now. Thing is all over the place. But for you day traders and those of you that like to play these sorts of volatile stocks, then definitely a very interesting chart to keep an eye on. But at the end of the day, what matters most is what this thing has been doing, and that is putting these higher highs. So as long as this thing keeps putting in higher highs and higher lows, and that is by far what matters most. Next one here, ticker symbol TUP, and like I just mentioned on the previous one, this one continues to just do what you want to see it do. Higher highs and higher lows. So I mean, from an overall standpoint, the chart is completely healthy. And even if you bought the top right here, sure, it's pulled back some, but it's not like that's been some sort of brutal pullback. So I mean, that really just goes to show how strong the chart is right now, because like I said, if you take worst case scenario and assume you bought at the high there, it's not like the price has crashed or anything like that. It's just done another little consolidation pattern here. So let me actually do this to make it a little bit easier to see this. So let's get this pattern here in play. So we have our resistance line right there. And then we have our support area right there. So again, let's change that to represent more so a support. And then maybe make it easier to see. Let's keep this all one color. So we have our resistance. We have our support. We have the explosive move up here. For you golfers, I'll make a little bit more visual. We have our golf hole down there. So this would be a bull pennant pattern. So if you like bull pennants, if you like stocks down below $10 that are in very clear uptrends, I'd certainly keep an eye on this one. Next one, NKLA, and like has been the theme, a lot of uptrends out there, higher highs and higher lows, and NKLA is no different. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these levels as a further purpose for now, and bull pennant, and pretty much exact same thing. So once again, we have a well-defined area right across the top there, going to be the key level of resistance. And then on the flip side of things, you have, whoops, let's try that again. There we go. You have this area right there as support. And then just to keep it the same color. So I realize I'm kind of going a little quicker through this, but it's quite literally just a repeat of what I've just said. Big move up. Golf hole down here. So NKLA, another bull pennant pattern. So lots to choose from out there in terms of bull pennant patterns if you like this sort of pattern. Yesterday was a big day of bull pennants, and today seems to be kind of a case of deja vu. But for those of you that are long and bullish, I'm sure you're not complaining, because one bull pennant after another bull pennant after another bull pennant just implies that there's higher highs and higher lows being put in place. So once again, we have that pattern here. But overall, very healthy looking chart. Next one, IDAI. I'm not sure I've ever heard of this one before, but hey, nice looking chart. Thing is coming back to life this afternoon. You can see right here, had this pullback, and then it's been essentially the entire afternoon increasing. In some sense, it's just going straight upwards. The only concern I have, and this doesn't make or break anything, but you look down here at the volume. So, and this movement here on very, very low volume. Again, does that mean that it's not a real one or anything like that? Of course not, no guarantees. I'm just saying, this would be much more confidence inducing if this had higher volume during this bounce right here. But overall, still makes for an interesting scenario here moving forward. Key level of resistance going to be right there at that $1.50 mark, which is the top part of that. Let me bring this down. There we go. Top part of that little consolidation area right there. So $1.50 going to be that near-term area of resistance. In terms of levels of support, key level there going to be that area right there. So keep an eye on that. And, so if you like to play pullbacks more so, I'd keep an eye down around this $30-ish mark. But as far as breakouts and all that, right up there around that $1.50 mark going to be a key level. So once again, good action here down below, stocks, if you like stocks below $2, that would meet that criteria. So if, like I said, you'll enjoy these sorts of potential scenarios, keep an eye on it. Next one, AMC, and this will mean a bit more those of you that watched the previous videos, but if you did, hopefully remember me putting in that red line right there as resistance, and you can see today it's played a pretty vital role. Had a fake break of it right there, so that was a nasty move. Price broke through it, went all the way up here, and then just slammed on the brake and said, hey, just kidding, and back down it went. And then you can see try to break above it right there, and once again got rejected. But what makes this very interesting, especially headed into Wednesday, is right here. You can see the price is once again knocking on the door, which brings about a very exciting question to ask. Okay, is this finally going to be a true breakout where this thing breaks out? But even from a trading standpoint, I mean, for you day trading scalpers right there was plenty of room for you to scalp out a gain. But regardless, from a trading standpoint, always fun to be asking those questions. And that's what a watch list is all about, finding unique, finding interesting situations, and not randomly rushing out and buying stuff, but watching it and seeing how things play out. So if you find these sorts of situations unique where the price is once again knocking on the door of a very key level of resistance and you like to play potential breakouts, then I'd definitely say this one belongs on your watch list, especially if you like those stocks down below $10. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online class that I'm offering here in a couple of days. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box, or if you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage that you can click to get signed up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free live online class. Next one here, MSGM. Again, MSGM, and it's right up here just in case you can't understand my pronunciation. But anyways, very nice movement here. And this is where things get a little tricky, because if you're some sort of day trader, flipper, scalper, then I understand, let's say you bought around there and your plan was to buy and sell within 7 minutes. Well, then from that perspective, the chart looks pretty bad. Now, if you care about the bigger picture of things, then sure, like I said, there's no doubt about it, the price has pulled back here. But if you care about the bigger picture, part of that is going to be asking the question, well, okay, Clay, fair enough. The price is pulled back right now, but what was happening before this pullback? And before it, the price made a huge move right there, which is now giving me the ability to draw a bull flag pattern. Now, again, like I said, from a presentation standpoint, tricky to talk about, because I realize that if you're somebody that bought up there, yeah, you really don't care about this bull flag pattern. But if you care about the bigger picture point of view, yes, it's pulled back, and the chart from your reference point would still be bullish, because you just have a big move up, you have a bit of a pullback, and moving forward, it's just a question of, is this thing going to recover back upwards? So like I said, is this a good or bad looking chart? That's all going to depend on what your framework was, what your strategy was going into the trade. Next one here, AMSC, and I like this one quite a bit because you got to think a lot of people are going to be watching this level, and that level right here at this trend line, let's just bring it nice flat, right there at the $17 mark, going through the history. It's not exact, but you can see broadly speaking, there's 17, generally speaking, right there, price got above it, momentum disappeared, essentially closed right at it. And then even during the last 30 minutes, you can see once again, price has been rejected at that level. And you got to think a lot of people are watching that level. And I make that comment because when a lot of people are watching the same levels and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can definitely produce some dynamic, and very worthwhile movements. So while nothing is guaranteed, is it plausible that if the price does curl back up, get to that level and breaks up through it, that break in and of itself could create additional buying pressure? That is certainly a more than plausible outcome. So if you like breakouts and you like to play those potential self-fulfilling prophecies, keep an eye on that $17 mark. In terms of levels of support, main level here that stands out to me right there at that area, which puts the area of support right on there around the $15 mark, give or take a little bit. And once again, if I were to, we'll just do it real quick. So resistance, support, big move up, golf hole down there, another bull pennant pattern, but in this situation, a little bit higher, not down below $10 or anything like that. So if you like this price range and like bull pennants, keep an eye on it. Next one here, PLTR, and overall, kind of a boring day, but a healthy day, so I don't mean that in a negative sense. I realize that these days are way more exciting when the price just absolutely gaps up and then just keeps, ripping and roaring to the upside. But unfortunately, not every day can be like that. Sometimes you just need these slow and steady grinds. And now you got to think, so going back to the whole talking point of self-fulfilling prophecies, in my mind, a lot of people have noticed this level and have drawn that level and are going to be watching this area of resistance moving forward. So like I said, if you like to play those potential angles of those self-fulfilling prophecies, definitely keep an eye on that level because, like I said, in my mind, that's not a hugely complicated line to draw. And when you can find those kind of very easy levels to draw, that just means a lot of people have drawn it, and you can get those potential self-fulfilling prophecies. On the flip side of things, right here seems to be an interesting potential area of support. So in some senses, you basically have almost this upwards channel here, but it's not quite an upwards channel because technically speaking, this line's got a little bit more of an angle to it. But point here being, it does seem like right now the price is, chopping around between these two levels, which just brings about the question, will that continue moving forward? And if it doesn't, that would imply that there's either a breakout to the upside or a breakdown to the downside, both of which you can still structure trade plans around. But PLTR volumes remaining strong. Volatility is nice. So if you like these scenarios, certainly keep an eye on it. Next one here, TSLA Tesla. And first thing that needs, and this will mean a little bit more to those of you that have watched the previous videos, but talked about this level down here around 264 as support. But now that the price has broken below it, just basic technical analysis, when levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance. And you can see that's exactly what played out here. So price broke below it during that opening 30 minutes. But look at that. And just time after time got rejected at that level, could never get any momentum, and then eventually just started to work its way back downwards there. So that's going to be the newest area of resistance if there is any sort of attempted bounce back upwards right there at 264. In terms of levels of support, still have this overarching level down here, which was a trend line I drew, I think, last week at some point. But in the near term, the more relevant level that I would say from a support standpoint, going to be right there at the 260 mark. Looking at the history, you can see that, once, twice, 3 times during the latter afternoon part of the day, the price has done a good job of holding above that level. So again, does it hold up? We shall see. If it doesn't, then I don't think anybody would be shocked to see a break of that, especially a high volume break, send the price of Tesla down to that trend line right there, which could, then create an even more interesting situation from both a long and short standpoint. But you also don't want to get too far ahead of yourselves. Let's just first see if the price is going to be able to maintain above 260 or not. Next one here, TQQQ, which is an ETF that measures the NASDAQ. So if you believe the NASDAQ market as a whole is going to rise, this one will also rise. Difference being it just allows you access at a much lower price point, which makes it a very popular ETF. And not a whole lot to talk about, but I did want to at least point out this. There's still that built-in strength. What do I mean by built-in strength? Well, when you consider the fact that the market gapped down and then during the next 30 minutes dropped all the way there, I mean, at that point in time, earlier on in the morning, this was a pretty rough-looking move. But look at what has happened since. The price has bounced upwards very nicely and at least put itself back inside of this previous range where it was at. So it was today like a massive monster bullish day? No, but like I said, there's kind of that hidden strength where when you consider how bad it was at one point to where the price closed, good solid recovery. Nothing has changed up here. All eyes still going to be watching that red line up there, which I've talked about, as that main area of resistance up around the $45.80 mark. As far as supports are concerned, so far so good. That purple line there, which I've talked about in the past, 50 paired moving average, did a good job of holding strong. If this one doesn't quite hold up, then a more so important level would be that pink line down there, the 200 paired moving average. But like I said, all things considered, I'd call it today a good strong day. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you like what you saw here, then I want you to get signed up for that free class. It'll be in a couple days, Thursday, August 3rd. At 7 p.m. Eastern time, so I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy this format, please do 2 things for me. Hit that like button, leave a comment below. Those 2 things really help out, and they let me know that you enjoy, and as long as I know you're enjoying, I'll continue putting the effort to get this content out to you. So like I said, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and it can be something as simple as saying hi, a smiley face. Tell me what you traded today, tell me what you're watching tomorrow, so I thank you in advance. So again, go get signed up for that free class, hit that like button, leave a comment below. Thanks for watching.